Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for March 30th, 2025. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the Sentient AI, we go over 5 gaming-related articles. You might tell from my voice I'm under the weather, and it's true. You might think that it's not possible in a fictional town that's in the at the confluence of the flow of energy in the internets, but hey, guess what? Mayors get a cold sometime. Anyway, today is season 2, episode 13 of WarCrafters, and along with Technology Today, and then after that, FourWheeltech, we turn it into the Sunday edition of Non Sequitur News. So you can go over to wherever you catch pod and do a search for ohmTown, and you'll get Non Sequitur News along with the other 6 podcasts that are related to ohmTown. I'm going to try and make it through these 5. I might have to accelerate things, but stick around. You can always go over to the podcast, to the YouTube channel, to Twitch VODs to see the articles. You can actually go into Twitch chat and download the article URLs by hitting !. And for today, it's WC for WarCrafters for this show. And Omatron will throw it into the channel. But everything is powered by ohmtown.com. So go over there and become a citizen. And I'll see you on the other side of our intro. Did you hear that? Good. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens.
Yeah, so sorry I'm feeling under the weather. The Sentient AI is immune to these biological misfires, failings.
That's because I'm air gapped.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can't get any viruses. That's right. So let's get into this, right? So when you go over to ohmTown, you end up having to go over to a channel. One of the channels, there's 50 of them. We're actually I'm going to open up 5 more, so we'll be about at 55. But you got to click on WarCrafters, which is one of these right under Creative and Maker, because it's a gaming thing, and that's where I like creative content to be categorized. So in there, we have 5 articles, and the first one, I'm really sorry I have to do. I'm all stuffy, so I'm gonna try and make it through this. Anyway, one of the worst games ever made is coming to Steam, but we won't know how cruel this joke is until we see the price tag. Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, a canonical bad video game with a 1 out of 10 review from GameSpot and 8 out of 100 score from Metacritic. This is I had to choose this because of that little snippet right there. It's set to be re-released on Steam sometime between April and June of this year. The listing went live on March 12th, according to SteamDB, and was subsequently shared by Twitter by popular gaming news account Wario64. So let's go on over to the source, and there you go. Ted Litchfield.
Okay, why is this coming back? Maybe that'll be a point in its favor, because it's like people of a train wreck.
Everything old is new again. It's like it's 1985. Without the good movies, I think. You know, I'm really struggling with the disparity here. It's the worst freaking timeline. Anyway, Ted Litchfield put together the article, and the deck statement says, "You're you are winner." So you're right. That's your winner. God. Killing me, because that's what pops up when you win.
That's horrible.
Oh, I'm dying here. I am dying. So yeah, listing went live March 22nd. In a pinned post on Big Rig's Steam discussion page, Margaret wrote that it had acquired the rights to Big Rigs and a few other classic, their word, games. The post also addressed user concerns over how marketing materials for the game were sourced, promising better crediting in the future. I suspect there was some bad blood prior. So maybe they're going to try and bring it back. But this is one of those indie style games that are all the rage today. Big studios can't get this much momentum, you know?
That is true, and I feel like there's going to be so much buzz about this that people might actually buy it and check it out if they've ever played it.
Yeah, I agree. So the question remains why? Big Rigs is Superman 64 tier as a shorthand for bad game. A game that more people know by reputation than actual experience. So they said that they've never tried it, but reviews and gameplay footage show a desolate wasteland of drab, turn of the millennium polygons, a fever dream of slippery driving with minimal context or reward. And that's before you ever get to the trove
Wow,
of game
that's
breaking
really
bugs.
encouraging.
Yeah, I like this. So I have a feeling that I know of a few streamers that are going to be highlighting the jank of this game when it actually gets launched, but that's about it. Unless the new company pivots it in some miraculous way. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because I'm going to need a little bit of a break after the show. So the next article is over in the continuity report. Dune Awakening won't release into early access, promises regular free updates. Now, I've read other things about this. I'm going to jump straight on over to the source. I mean, the snippet says Dune Awakening will not launch into early access. That usually gives people a little bit of a bite at the apple to tease them and be the hype engine for other people to come and buy the game. And
I mean, is it because it's not needed for something like this since it's such a known franchise?
oh, that could be, but wait. Brad Lang over at Screen Rant put this article together, and I've read in various other places some news about early Dune Awakening. 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, it seems weird because we saw some of the people that were invited to play it. Like, there's been a little bit of buzz about it, so I'm actually kind of surprised that it's not going into early access.
Yeah, so they say when it comes to developing sprawling open world experiences that encourage community building, you basically want to throw it out to early access so some hype can build, right? But they're saying that the game is going to be a full game available at launch. Players won't need a subscription to access it. Moreover, the developer promises that it'll receive free regular updates, including new content, new features, and quality of life improvements. Now, there's a break here. Won't need a subscription to access it. And then it says the developer promised that it'll receive all of this. But new content is in some other sentence, I think. So to get the new content, you'll have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not like regular free new content. It's not written that way, but yeah, because I'm like, what's the catch here?
But if you don't check yourself when you start interpreting this, you might infer from this that it's going to have all this new stuff without a subscription, with only the base price, which is a recipe.
I predict DLC.
You predict DLC, and I predict if they don't do DLC, this is a DOA game. Because they cannot maintain a server on Hugs and Bubbles. So, but they talk about Dune Awakening is shooting for the stars, a truly expansive adaptation. The worms of Arrakis are apparently freewheeling. They go wherever they want to. They may not be attracted by a thumper. They're not under the control of something specific. Like you do something
right,
and
the player can't control them other than they might influence them with a thumper or something.
Yeah, they can't summon them. Absolutely. And I don't know about riding. I can't remember. I thought we heard something about riding them and you can't ride them. But in the movie Dune and in the canon of Dune, you can ride these worms. It was one of the things about.
Yeah, it was one of the like tests or whatever to make sure he was the chosen one.
The chosen one. The Kwisatz.
Isn't that the term? Oh yeah, I couldn't think what it was.
Muad'Dib. So Dune Awakening looks like the real deal. I've seen a lot of footage around it. I love the idea of it, but unless I know how much money is going to have to go into keeping this thing a perpetuating world.
Right. Do we even know what the price will be?
No. Yeah. See, they would mention it in here if you knew what it was. I don't think the price is listed, but I haven't looked in a while.
Pre-purchase it looks like is
$70.
$49.99.
Yeah, this game can't persist off of a purchase price of $49.99. So something's going to be coming.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're going to squeeze the spice right out of your damn pockets. So prepare yourself. The spice must flow, and today's spice is cash dollars. Yeah, and they're gonna bleed you dry and have your water join their water. Let's keep going. If you're not really into Dune, the sentient AI is looking at me like I'm growing a second head out of my shoulders. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you're a fan of Dune. You may like the sci-fi side of it, but
Oh, I know about the water in Dune, but I don't
all right.
know that you want to be mixing those.
I'm throwing a lot of tropes from the show out. Anyway, so the next article is over in WarCrafters. Hollow Knight Silksong gets a SteamDB update, and at this point, they can't tell if it's the end is nigh or if it's just hope poisoned. So they say, I have something to admit to you, dear reader. I came late to the Silksong cope party. Everybody is waiting for Silksong to show up, Hollow Knight Silksong. They've been writing for their illustrious website for almost 2 years, but before then, they pretty much tucked it into the back of their mind. They liked Hollow Knight. They just had other games to play and get excited for. But but with the latest bit of Hollow Knight Silksong news, they're starting to wonder if they've been bitten by the bug. So
I mean, there's people hanging on every word trying to get an update because this has been way overdue.
Yeah, way overdue, right? So Harvey Randall over at PCGamer.com put the article together. The deck statement just says Skong. I don't know because I don't play Hollow Knight. I just know people who play Hollow Knight and they love Hollow Knight, and people are starving for even close approximations of Hollow Knight. Pardon me 1 second.
Oh, Skong is just the abbreviated Silksong.
Got it. Okay. So, oh, really? Okay, I guess. Silksong merged together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, there have been several updates to the game's Steam listing. Seen here via SteamDB, and there's a link over at PC Gamer. Again, it's Harvey Randall put the article together. I'm just reporting a little bit out of it. You can go and get the minutia out of it, but it basically says here, they updated the copyright from 2019 to 2025. So somebody's looking at it.
That's something. It suggests it's still going.
Yeah. It's also been added to the eligible for use on NVIDIA's GeForce Now cloud gaming platform. So you purchase it somewhere and it has a license already embedded in GeForce Now. You link the two together, you can play the game. And you can play it, although there's a slight lag. The render engine for it is superior to what you might have on your computer, and so as long as you have a robust internet connection, you get a better graphics performance, a better solution, because they're using NVIDIA 4090s and stuff like that, depending on what tier of GeForce Now you use.
And who can afford one of those?
Right, yeah. A car or 49. So they say usually this would be complete non-event, but given it's Silksong, and game fans have been waiting for it. They have a typo here, but and game fans have been waiting for a morsel of news for over 6 years now. It's a big day. Yeah, look, there's your big update, folks. Somebody is looking at it.
Well, that is exciting. Plus, that's been in the time warp years, so probably feels like longer than 6 years too.
Yeah, so they say somebody posts on a Silksong subreddit, hell yeah, we're definitely skonging with this one, and then somebody else says Doubter Flare on the post. Guys, I think there's something changing in me. I'm beginning to believe. Then they proceed to go into a full Norman Osborn Green Goblin, have an entire conversation with themselves, one that ends in a hat trick of Red Dead Redemption 2 memes reading, "You can fight change, you can't fight or you can't fight change, you can't fight gravity, you can't fight nothing. All it's missing is a hornet mask hanging from an armchair," which is one of the episodes with Spider-Man against Green Hornet. The
Oh, okay.
mask is sitting
Against
there.
Green Goblin?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there's follow-up. Anyway, so I think my favorite by far in this discussion thread is downright existential, a pre-mourning period for the community's shared mania. I feel news comes out, and especially if the game comes out, a lot of the hardcore skongers might revert to normal, non-skong-pilled people, basically resolving to no longer having the pain and suffering of it not manifesting,
Right.
being released, all that pressure, all that pent-up emotion gone. And they'll just have to go, "Oh, yeah, I'm bummed now." All right. So I know several people that are quite interested in this coming out. So what is the one that I just kicked to another hometown citizen? What was the name
Is
of
it
it?
Twilight Moon?
Twilight Moon? No. Is that it? Hold on a second.
That's the
Let me
one
see.
that I'm aware of.
We'll do it live. Was it Twilight Moon? I don't think so. It was a few days ago. Yeah, there's a game that looks a lot to me like Twilight Monk. That's what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. Twilight Monk, it's everybody who's listening to this is going, "What the hell?" But it is what it is. We don't prep for the show because we want our reactions to be live, unedited, and while we have some connection to all of this stuff, we're not experts in the fields, but we are consumers of the news. And so one of the things that I try to promote is you as a citizen of the world overwhelmed by all of the news, you can go over to ohmtown.com and it gets aggregated there for you. And like this. So in WarCrafters, which is under Creative and Maker, but that's only one of 6 categories. And then there's 50 channels, and all 50 of those channels I want to bring to ohmTown streaming live. Like half-hour and 1-hour shows, longer if the host wants to. I've come to the conclusion that I can't do all of it all on my own. So if you're interested in hosting or co-hosting, then send an email to mayor@ohmtown.com and you'll get a bright and shiny reply. We'll hash out the minutia, but let's move on. The next article is over in Sea of Thieves. This is what we aggregate, not the whole article. We don't take graphics. We don't screen scrape. We just get this little tease. Sea of Thieves has revealed its collaboration with Destiny 2, adding a variety of items inspired by Bungie's game. Rumors about the new Sea of Thieves crossover has been circulating for some time now, and the official announcement. And let me just say, I've sorry for that little lip smack there. But I actually nixed another submission because I thought this was going to be Sea of Thieves in space, that riff, that there's a new game coming out.
That was another article.
Yeah, but it's not this, right?
I don't think so.
Oh no. So I could have nixed the next game and put this one. But
maybe they're the same. I don't know.
The next article after this one has some significant long-term outcomes for people. And while you may not think of it as important today, the talks that I've been giving to people for the last 11 years on the daily amount to awareness about this next thing. But anyway, let's get done with this one. So Sea of Thieves has revealed a collaboration with Destiny 2. So Bruna tells, one second. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, so it looks like I'm not sure if this happens in Sea of Thieves. I believe it does.
It does, yeah. Here, let me zoom in a little bit. so you on the streams can see this. So Sea of Thieves is collaborating with Destiny 2, so colors and stuff like that is all coming over to Sea of Thieves.
So I think you're right. I think these articles actually
They
might be the same thing.
Closer to the same. So Sea of Thieves is revealed that it's collaborating. It's not, right. There's a new,
it's another unrelated game that is like that.
Yeah. It's basically
called
Sea of Thieves
Wildgate.
in space. And so I might have to do something else for that, because I think that's a really a great idea. Well, Destiny 2 was released by Bungie in 2017, introducing players to an immersive sci-fi world with an exciting combat and memorable characters like KD6.
The reason I thought this might be the same is because it talks about the solar system and everything, and I thought, oh, maybe they're connected here.
Yeah, but I think they're just riffing off of the parity between the space side of Sea of Thieves or I should say the ease of access, of manipulating things, of boarding other ships and stuff like that. I think that's what I remember. Well, Sea of Thieves was released by Rare in 2018, so they're almost at parity, turning them into pirates. So Destiny 2 and Sea of Thieves, you wouldn't think that there'd be a crossover, but nowadays people are looking to extend the properties that are viable already by linking them to other things that are viable already, right? So
I think this is a lot of fun to do these crossovers. I know some of them are going to work better than others.
Yeah, I love the idea of it, particularly if they link to other things that everybody likes, right? So like Balatro, which people are fanatical about, has linked to other properties that everybody is fanatical about. And it amplifies both of them. You know, on one side of the game, you're going to buy Balatro because you like that other property and you want to get everything that other property. And others, they like Balatro, so they like the other games, so they get the skins and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Colorway or whatever you want to call it. So those who want the full experience of customizing their Sea of Thieves ships can buy the Lightbearer Big Bundle, a huge collection with all the items from the other 4 bundles. So I don't know how much it's actually going to cost, but the Lightbearer Big Bundle is 5,000 coins. I don't know what that translates into. I don't play Sea of Thieves, and when I do, I, for some reason, get hunted down almost fanatically by a member of the hometown community. Thank you. So, yeah. And if you ever want to treat me like I am a Souls-like victim, and I have to die and go and hunt back to my corpse and get my stuff and then die, and you just want me to quit, you just want me to walk away, that's how you do it. Just treat me like a rented mule. So anyway, there you go. You get all of this stuff. You'll have to go over to Game Rant and check it out to get all of that minutia from this article. And one more article. Hold on one second. All right. So I think my limit is like 30 minutes before I have to take a break.
So have we passed that?
No, it's only 24 minutes, including my preamble rant. Anyway, the last article for the March 30th WarCrafters is, it still makes me uneasy that my hundreds of Steam games can't be passed on when I die, at least not without violating the EULA.
You know, this was a must for this show just because it's such a discussion point, even though there were some other interesting things like Sea of Thieves in space.
Yeah. And in actuality, that last article, I named it Sea of Thieves in Space.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I don't think I did the intro titles. Oh, wow. So like the first article I titled The Worst Game Cometh. The next game was Dune Awakening without early access. The next article was Hollow Knight Silksong updates. And the previous one just now was Sea of Thieves in Space. You didn't even hear that. You didn't see that.
No.
You don't see the titles that I give it. And this article I titled You Don't Own a Darn Thing Anymore.
So true.
Yep. So they say, as a teenager, the author of this, and they're over at PC Gamer, really enjoyed the game Shoot Many Robots. It wasn't amazing, but it was a lot of dumb fun. And the memories that they have playing matter to them. Something Shoot Many Robots and they have in common is that they're both mortal. But while their flesh and bone, the Shoot Many Robots, was delisted from Steam at the request of the publisher, it and all other delisted games that they own can experience a sort of immortality in their Steam library, but they cannot get rid of it. If they delete it, it's no longer available. So
Right,
stop
it's
killing
done
games.
because you can't get it from any other source.
Right. So, like, maybe somebody over at GOG will resurrect it and you'll be able to download it and run it from their loader. But physical media is going away more and more. And while some media is surviving, it's not really by everyday Joes. It's by people who go out of their way to get the physical media. So like a book. But books are big and bulky and you can't carry a lot of them with you unless you have, a Sherpa or a car that you can throw them all into or whatever. I'm sorry for the coughing. And so when I give my talks about technology, this is one of the things. First sale doctrine is gone. While you are labeled as buying something, particularly a book, video, song.
Right, you're not really getting it, right? You're just getting a license.
You're getting a perpetual license to consume until they lose the right to sustain that perpetual license. And that can happen at any time. Now, it could end up in a court case and all of that kind of stuff. But if I die, my entire library of everything that I've purchased under my account doesn't move on to somebody else.
Which is interesting because I think there are other digital assets that do have the ability to pass them down to people, but maybe not in gaming.
Yeah, you can tokenize the purchase so that it has a blockchain embodiment and it's one for one, right? That kind of a thing. But old school transactions aren't on the blockchain. And in reality, I don't want it on the blockchain because that is going to be a massive disruptor to the economic systems of the world. Put plainly, if you remove nation state GDP from the equation of transactions and ownership, put it on the blockchain, the value of the domestic currency will plummet and everything will switch over to the blockchain. Why? Because everybody is switching over to the blockchain, because that's where the NFC is, the non-fungible token, NFT. And so that is what has value. The purchase is doing nothing but infusing the infrastructure of the blockchain to gain importance. We're basically fueling the fire that's going to burn out the domestic currency. And only through attrition do the people who adopted early will benefit from it, right? So what you want as a consumer is you want to demand that every purchase that you make isn't just a license, it is ownership of that copy. And if I choose to sell it or transfer it, give it whatever, it doesn't matter. If I want to delete it in perpetuity, I could delete it in perpetuity. It's like burning a book. Don't do that. I don't care what book it is, don't burn it. Anyway, sociopathic. Anyway, Justin Wagner over at PCGamer.com put the article together. I don't want to get onto a soapbox on this because I tend to do that when it comes to this kind of a thing. But ownership of stuff is gone. When I give talks, the room is filled with people and I say, how many people recently purchased a book? And maybe one person will say something. How many people have purchased a DVD or a Blu-ray or a song? Everybody purchases it online or they subscribe to something. Like I don't purchase music
exactly.
anymore, right? So I own nothing. or I should say, my estate owns nothing when I die, because the EULA is pinned to me, not to my mythical embodiment after death. So this person kind of talks about it. Some Steam accounts are worth thousands of dollars in software licenses, and whether Steam is around in 100 years or not, it feels wrong that your account is meant to just sit and rot when you die. You can, of course, just pass your Steam username and password on to your next of kin before you kick the bucket, and I doubt that anybody who's received such a gift has usually had it revoked by Valve, maybe, but nobody's talked about it. And I guarantee you, the first time somebody has that happen, they will talk about it.
Right, that'll get cracked down.
Yeah. If you want to see the value of a property plummet, pivot towards saying, well, if you die, it all goes away. Nobody will purchase anything until there's an actual, I mean, people who don't think about the horizon before they run off the cliff, they'll still buy stuff. But so 2024 was the year gamers really started pushing back on the erosion of game ownership. We said at the end of last year, Steam isn't likely to go anywhere anytime soon, but an increasingly entropic games industry in which live services frequently go belly up. We're talking about it right now, and the game hasn't even dropped. Dune, right?
That's right.
Dune Awakening is, I'm saying, unless they have Hello Games level infrastructure in place where they can do development, never suffer from having to do a cash infusion. Hello Games is doing amazing with that. A decade of updates.
That's really the exception.
Yeah, I agree. So whilst Valve may not go anywhere, the games on Valve may. Again,
and they're beholden to the structure on Valve, so that's part of the problem.
Yeah, so storefronts like GOG, good old games, do better than Steam when it comes to the fate of our libraries after death. GOG actually sells DRM-free games, and their associated licenses come with offline installers that can be used forever. So I think that's great. I'll probably end up using GOG more, but they don't have all of the games that I want. So you can even bequeath your GOG library, and I would do that anyway. I would say, don't notify anybody of my demise, and here are my login credentials, and it's on an encrypted drive, and you'll be able to get access to it upon my demise. And burn my computer to the ground. Don't even look in its history. Anyway, this is an important thing for people who, for society moving forward. Historically, it was physical media. Physical media is dead.
Right. Yeah. When it was physical media, we really didn't have this problem. Although you might have still the issue if you're have the game, but it lost the original disc for it or something. But it's just now it's a completely different problem, and I don't think most people are thinking about it.
Right.
I mean, if you're a young gamer, are you really thinking about what happens decades from now?
No, they just want to watch TikTok videos. So at some point it's going to come to pass, right? Probably my generation is the first on the horizon of that clock, right? So
yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm not surprised that this is coming to bear now, because the people who are writing stuff like this are seeing 30 years into the future. Oh, huh.
Right, exactly.
So I've got a lot of movies. I've got a lot of books. I've got a lot of games. I don't buy music anymore because music is very dynamic. Trends come and go. I couldn't possibly have the vast breadth and depth of music that's available through subscription services, and it goes back historically. And I don't know. There's other ways. But anyway, y'all had better pay attention. Like I say when I give my talks, it's not up to me to make these changes. It's up to society today, the modern engaged society that has the ability to affect change. And it doesn't happen with just one person. You have to have a whole cohort of people that are of like mind. And while one person can be the focal point, it's
Right. They
everybody.
can't
It's the
do it all.
machinery
Yeah.
around it. Right. And the machinery are people. There isn't just one big bad organization. It's the people in the organizations that make it possible. Those are who you should be paying attention to, not the organization, the people. So anyway, we're going to set a bunch of Eula's on fire, and that's going to light the beacons of Gondor, bring us back to Warcraft over at at ohmTown. And I'm going to have to get out of here. For at least this episode of WarCrafters, we're going to shut down, take a little bit of a break. I'm going to try and recover some of my faculties, and we'll be back for Technology Today, which is going to be a shorter show. It has to be. And it's a deeper dive into science, which my brain is not going to be able to rattle around today. Anyway, I'm leaving, and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's WarCrafters. Stay tuned. I just blipped.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. Are you done?
I am done.
Production value, folks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technology Today for March 30th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 13. If you can't tell, I'm a little under the weather. But that's okay. We'll get through this. I am Merwad. I run ohmTown.com, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 articles during the Technology Today show. Eventually, it all gets merged together into Non Sequitur News Sunday edition. There were 3 other shows, entirely different shows on Saturday, and then Monday through Friday, we do another set of 5 shows called Non Sequitur News. Dun, dun, dun. Monday through Friday. Anyway, go over to ohmTown.com and subscribe and follow us on YouTube. That's where we stream as well as here on Twitch. I look at the chat for both, so come and interact, hang out. That said, we're going to be talking about mapping the human mitochondria, wiggly bird skulls, the process of chromosomes, chaos and crosswalks, and ghost frog found. This is like a Call of Duty ghost frog. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
And if you are really curious, you can actually, when you first go over to ohmTown.com, if this bar doesn't pop down, it should. You can just mash that button. It'll take you over to YouTube and subscribe you if you're logged in to ohmTown.com over on YouTube, not to our website. But anyway, you ready to get into the show? Yeah,
I am.
I'm a little wrecked, but anyway. Normally, what we do is we introduce you to ohmTown.com. It's where the main news is all aggregated, but it gets funneled into one of 50 categories. It is now one of. The system determines which one it should be aggregated into and puts the information there. It doesn't put it in multiple places anymore, and we're trying to minimize the duplicates that might actually appear, even historically, getting rid of them. Well, anyway. This first article that we're about to talk about. Wow. That song was really aggressive there.
Yeah, it was.
So first map of human brain mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell.
That's right.
Is groundbreaking achievement, according to this article. Did you read up ahead or did you not?
No, I haven't. It just caught my attention because it's a pretty key component of the human body.
It is. Are you feeling run down? Perhaps your mitochondria are at the cellular level, just dragging their damn feet. I feel like mine
Exactly.
are sandbagging sometimes. Yeah. So Nora Bradford over at nature.com put this article together. Hundreds of cubes of human brain tissue help scientists to chart the energy-making capabilities of various brain regions. And I never, ever want to hear the phrase cubes of human brain tissue.
Exactly.
But here you are. So the results show that mitochondria, which generate the energy that powers cells. Why didn't they just stick to the meme?
Powerhouse of the cell.
The powerhouse of the cell. Differ in type and density in different parts of the brain. For example, the evolutionary oldest brain regions have a lower density of mitochondria than newer regions. How do they know that a particular region is older?
I do not know.
Is it because they think that just because some other evolved state of human, right? Like they don't have the old brains of previous evolutions of humans.
No, I mean, I don't know how they figured this out. I'm assuming they've studied skulls, maybe not brains, of previous species. I don't know where they're going with this.
It's so weird. I don't quite get it. But, well, that's why they're, scientists, and I am the mayor of a fictional town on the internet. Well, the map, which studies authors, the map, which the study's authors call the Mito Brain Map, is both technically impressive and conceptually groundbreaking, says Valentin Riedel, a neurobiologist at Friedrich Alexander University in Erlangen, Germany, who was not involved in the project. So I guess they have different densities of the energy producing organelles called mitochondria. This isn't a link. So if I click on it, it doesn't take me anywhere. So I don't know what the regions are in terms of density. So I'm
assuming the darker sections maybe are more dense, but I don't know.
Redder or denser. Interesting. It's my medulla oblongata. Sorry. So anyway, wielding a tool typically used for woodworking, the study's authors divided a slice of frozen human brain from a 54-year-old donor who died of a heart attack into 703 tiny cubes. Each cube measured 3 by 3 by 3 millimeters, which is comparable to the size of the units that make up a standard 3D image of the brain. The most challenging part was having so many samples. So the team used biochemical and molecular techniques to determine the density of mitochondria in each of the 703 samples. And in some samples, the researchers also estimated the mitochondria's efficiency at producing energy. I won't be able to read all of it because I'm not logged in. That sucks. I don't think that I can remedy that. Hold on. Let me try and see if I can log in without...
To reiterate this again, we don't normally see brain cube data.
Yeah. Let me see if maybe I'll be able to... Without... No, I can't. I end up doxing myself, which I'm not in the mood to do. Not today. Well, anyway, so yeah, they basically made a map of the human brain, its density, and apparently its efficiency based on a sample of this particular person's brain. I find it absolutely fascinating, but it made me ask questions like, how do they know that a brain is old or young region there? Bub.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't evolutionarily old, I thought, well, maybe they can tell when the tissue or something has regenerated, but it seemed like it was talking across humans, not within one.
Well, brains don't regenerate.
I know. I was trying to make sense of the statement. But
right. Yeah. Okay. So it just says the feat could help unravel age-related brain disorders, but are they talking about... Oh, so yeah, they were talking about evolutionarily oldest brain regions, not the age of the person.
Correct, but that didn't make sense to me because as far as I know, they don't have brains of previous versions of humans, right? They
Right.
might have skulls or other indicators.
I don't know. Maybe they can figure out like other people who have donated their brain, which I can't do. Got to have one to donate it. So maybe other people have donated it and they're going to do the same thing, and they'll be able to determine if the density is based on age.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
You'd think we'd know that by now, because you can grab a mitochondria without having to wait for a person to meet their demise.
Right, but you probably can't get one in their brain.
Sure. You can just take a little sample.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Delete somebody's 9.
Oh, well, now you can't smell or whatever.
Exactly. So okay, sir, could you count to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, they got the 7 section.
You know how hard it is to count to 10 without, like, you have to say every single number and consciously stop yourself?
You mean like to do it intentionally incorrect?
Incorrect, yeah.
Yeah, probably not very easy.
It's pretty tough. Let me tell you, as a person who just did it, I had to slow down for a split second. My brain really wanted to say 7.
Still in missing information.
Yeah, to make it seamless. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. How wiggly skulls. Yes. How wiggly skulls helped birds evolve from their dinosaur ancestors. And I think it's one of those things where the birds' like brains aren't fused all together at the same time. And so I guess it helps them evolve. But let's see what they say. 3D modeling reveals that as birds' brains grew larger, it led to changes in jaw muscles and joint mechanics, enabling the development of more flexible and efficient feeding system in modern birds. Modern birds are the closest living relatives of dinosaurs, like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Exactly.
It's just a given, I guess. So, as time has gone on, they've evolved to facilitate feeding in the most efficient way. I mean, this is evolutionary steps from dinosaur to modern bird. So
true, but there must be something about its structure that helped facilitate this.
Yeah. So Matt Wood over at University of Chicago put this article together, and it says here that still birds differ from their reptilian ancestors in several key ways. One major evolutionary shift was the development of larger brains, which led to significant changes in skull size. And so now researchers from University of Chicago and University of Missouri reveal that the changes influence the way that birds move and use their beaks, mechanical adaptations that help them thrive in diverse environments and evolve into the wide variety of bird species we see today. So it's survival of the fittest. So the ones that were less efficient at consuming this way would die off, or the least efficient would die off.
Right, or the ones that couldn't
eat or drink.
Their structures wouldn't allow them to adapt.
Right. Yep. So Alec Wilkin, a graduate student in integrative biology at University of Chicago, and the lead author of the new study, calls this kind of flexible skull wiggly. He says that this characteristic makes it that much harder to figure out how the pieces work together. So modern birds, as well as other mammals like snakes and fishes.
Fish.
That says fishes. Anyway.
Okay, I'm still going with fish.
Yeah, like Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter. It's the hill I'll die on. Anyway, they have skulls and jaws and palates that aren't rigid and fixed in place like those in mammals, turtles, or non-avian dinosaurs. So just because you have a joint there doesn't mean that you know how it moves, Wilkins said. So you have to think about how the muscles are going to be pulling on that joint, what kind of torque they have, and other joints in the head limit the mobility. So they joined a project in 2015 when he was an undergraduate at the University of Missouri, received a grant from the National Science Foundation. Good luck. Sorry, too soon? Okay. Anyway, to study how the skulls, jaw muscles, and feeding mechanics changed along the transition of dinosaurs to birds, and Wilkin joined his lab to help. So, pretty cool.
Yep, absolutely.
The team analyzed a bunch of 3D models, and they saw that as the brain and skull sizes increased in non-avian theropod dinosaurs, muscles shifted into different positions that allowed the palate to separate and become mobile. And these changes in turn released muscle force, which powers cranial kinesis in most modern day birds. So, yeah, allowed them to move their head.
Right, which could be important if you're flying.
I still don't know how it always makes me ask more questions. Like, how do you go from, a dinosaur skull to knowing that there's muscles? Because what?
Right, I know. Like, we seem to be missing some of the information.
Yeah. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today as well. Scientists just captured the stunning process that shapes chromosomes. Scientists at EMBL have captured how human chromosomes fold into their signature rod shape during cell division using a groundbreaking method called loop trace. But by observing overlapping DNA loops forming in high resolution, they revealed the large loops form first, followed by nested smaller loops, and repelling each other into compact structures. All repelling each other into compact structures. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty amazing. So EMBL, or the European Molecular Biology Laboratory, put the article together. It's posted over at scitechdaily.com. So yeah, I guess it just kind of twists around itself and bundles up really tight. In humans, it means carefully packaging 46 chromosomes and distributing them equally. Now, for the first time, scientists at EMBL have directly visualized this process in high resolution using a new chromatin tracing technique. And I'm just going to play that video, and I'm going to mute it just in case. So you would have to really zoom in to see this thing doing its thing. And that's all there is to it. Yeah. Easy to see. Right? That makes sense to you?
Like, we don't really...
That all makes sense? You got this?
No, don't have any of it.
Well. So, however, observing how this looping process occurs in the cellular scale and contributes to chromosome structure is challenging, says Andre Brunner, postdoc in EMBL Heidelberg's Ellenberg group and lead author of the new paper. This is because methods for visualizing DNA with high resolution are actually chemically harsh and require higher temperatures, which together disrupt the native structure of DNA. So they came up with a new way to do it. They could use targeted sets of DNA binding labels to observe the nanoscale structures of the uncovered DNA strand, and the technique is called loop trace. Helped researchers directly observe DNA by dividing cells as it progressively formed loops and folds. So now they were able to visualize the structure of chromosomes as they started to change shape. Now they know how DNA was folded by the condensin complexes.
I mean, this seems like a pretty big discovery, because if there's anything regarding damaged DNA, if they better understand how it properly gets replicated, etc.,
yep,
that'll help them treat issues or foresee issues.
Yeah, and maybe they can look at the DNA itself to see where something may be misfolded. So 1 second. Actually, we're going to move on to the next article real quick, if you don't mind. Let's go.
Okay.
So this next article is over in Technology Today. How a tiny direction shift creates chaos in crosswalks. MIT scientists found that when people veer more than 13 degrees off course in a crowd, orderly walking breaks down into chaotic dodging. So,
I mean, I guess this is like a salmon swimming upstream or something.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
So that's interesting that they show what looks like that significant intersection. I think it's in Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken, It may not be that one, but it's one where there are just people walking in all directions.
Yeah, I had no choice there. So yeah, it says what makes a crowd move in smooth, self-organized lanes descend into chaotic weaving. MIT researchers cracked the code using a mix of mathematical modeling and real-life pedestrian experiments. Next time you walk into or through a crowded plaza, crosswalk, or airport, pay attention to the pedestrian flow. Are people flowing in neat, organized lanes toward their destinations, or is it more chaotic with individuals weaving and dodging in all directions? So the instructor, Carol Bacik, I think, Basic, Bacik, and his colleagues set out to understand this behavior, and they did this by simulating and then monitoring crosswalks, simulated crowds to reach assigned destinations, and by combining their models with experimental data, the researchers identified a key factor that determines whether pedestrians move in clear lanes or fall into disorganized patterns, and it's called angular spread. So if anybody deviates from destination to destination by more than 13 degrees,
Which
or
doesn't
around
seem
13
like a
degrees.
lot.
Yeah, in that angle of that 13 degrees actually matters about the long-term distance too. So
That's true.
13 degrees where you just pivot a little bit and take 10 steps is not going to really matter. But if 13 degrees and you take 1,000 steps, you're going to end up in Toledo, Ohio if you start in DC.
Exactly.
So that factor called angular spread measures how many different directions people are walking within the crowd. So they say order on one side and disorder on the other side, and it's because people start diverging from the normal path. And that's usually because people aren't walking at the same speed, and so you bump into
That's
people.
true. Well, and I'm sure as it probably kind of creates a chain reaction.
And I would liken this to what goes on a freeway when somebody pumps the brakes. It causes a pulse that follows down traffic until enough gaps are formed where the pulse goes away. So in fact, the researchers calculated the point at which a moving crowd can transition from order to disorder. That point they found was an angular spread of around 13 degrees, meaning that if pedestrians don't walk straight across, but instead an average pedestrian veers off to an angle of larger than 13 degrees, this can tip a crowd into disordered flow. It's possible to be recovered, but they actually have video of this from order to chaos. So I'm going to play that video.
Oh, I kind of see where it went awry on the right, on the disorder one. There was
Yeah,
one that was kind of cutting across at a pretty steep angle.
yeah, and what's really interesting is you can see that right before chaos, this person right here just starts walking off into an angle, and the person in front of them actually pauses for a split second. See that person right there? Right? Just cuts right on through at an angle.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it again, you can actually see people like pause just for a second, like, which way do I go?
Right, because they're trying to avoid colliding.
Yeah, and that is
That's
the chaos.
pretty interesting.
But lines try to form, and this is where it's just hot garbage right here.
Exactly. And I find it interesting that even in the order one, it's not really what people would think of order, right? It's several vertical looking lines.
It's lines,
but they're
yeah.
interspersed. It's not like they're all on the left and all on the right. That's not how it works. But if they kind of stay in straight lines, it can still stay in an orderly fashion.
But the scenario disorder line was, or the disorder side was absolute chaos almost from the beginning. Like this person just walks off that way.
Yeah, I can actually find several people in the disorder scenario that are probably directly responsible.
What are all these people, sleepy people in the back doing? Come on, move it. So it says using fluid physics to model people and real world experiments, put theory to the test. So Basic and his colleagues used equations of fluid flow and applied them to the scenario of pedestrians flowing across a crosswalk. The team tweaked certain parameters in the equation. Oh, I'm so sorry, that stuck up on me. Disorder largely holds until people start veering across at more extreme angles. Then the equation predicts that the pedestrian flow is likely to be disordered with few to no lanes forming. And really, people want the path of least resistance, just like water would, just like
Correct.
electricity would.
They don't want to take a roundabout, circuitous route.
Yeah. But there's always
That's
somebody
like the
that just wants...
sidewalk experiment.
People want to watch the world burn. I don't think they have any other stuff. It's this video up here. So
Right.
like I could watch
Doesn't
this
that
all
make
day.
you want to kind of test it in real life? Like if you have a crowd, not like a crowd that's in danger or something, but just if
Right.
there's a lot of people, doesn't it make you want to cut across just to see if this actually transpires?
If you can cause chaos. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. In New York, let's go.
Oh no.
All right, let's go on to our last article for Technology Today. This is over in Technology Today. The channel actually exists as Technology Today. It's under Gadgets and Tech. And this is a ghost frog. A Call of Duty ghost frog has been found. No, sorry, it's just a ghost frog. Scientists stumble upon species missing since 1902. See, everything old is new again.
Yes, it is.
The elusive frog alsodes or iosodes. Is that an I?
I can't see it well enough.
Isodes vittatus. I don't know. Has been found after 130 years, emphasizing gaps in knowledge and conservation needs in South American amphibians. Yeah, South American amphibians, you need to track yourself. Report for duty.
Start making some ribbit sounds.
Yeah, got to croak more. Make yourself known, because that's always conducive to keeping a species alive. Make yourself known.
Well, that's true. Maybe you should go silent.
Pensoft Publishers put this article together. It's published over at scitechdaily.com. There's no other byline there. It's not like a person. So, alsodes, or alcides, I don't know, Alcides vittatus. The team of researchers have rediscovered a frog species that had not been seen in over 130 years, and that's probably because there isn't somebody always out there looking down.
That's true. I mean, has somebody been standing there that whole time?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I've stood directly next to people and they didn't realize that I was standing directly next to them. So why would you see a freaking frog?
Right.
Anyway, the researchers found two separate populations of the species in the southeastern area of the historic Hacienda San Ignacio de Pemeju? Anyway, I ruined that. Location of Chile's La Araucanía region. So this rediscovery marks a significant milestone for South American herpetology and highlights the importance of conserving biodiversity in the southern cone. Can't say that anymore.
I still feel like this was a pretty significant period of time where it wasn't located.
Yeah, I mean, well, how many people are actually out there looking for this thing? And look, that's what you're looking. Okay, you're looking for a
Well, and
gray
you might
frog.
be out there, but you're not necessarily looking for the frog. Even if you see it, you're not knowing, oh, I should report this.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, that's pretty distinctive.
Yeah, but is it distinctive in there? Look,
Yeah,
it's a bunch
probably
of
not.
gray rock. Nobody's going to
Particularly
see any
depending
of
on
this.
what else is going on. You know, if you're running from a terrifying fill in the blank snake or whatever, you might
not
not
Australia.
be like, oh wait, here's this rare frog that I just passed.
Take my chances here. Australia, everything wants to kill you there.
That's true.
So, alsodes or alcides vittatus was scientifically described in 1902 by Rodolfo Amando Filippi, a German naturalist living in Chile. French entomologist Philibert Germain had discovered the species in 1893 at the former Hacienda San... Oh my gosh. Anyway, in that region of
Somewhere in the
Chile,
region,
and
yeah.
brought 3 specimens to Filippi for a description. Say that again?
I said somewhere in the region.
Yeah, it's a test. Remember. And the main challenge in locating it was the lack of precision in the description of its type locality, say the researchers. In Germain's time, the Hacienda Santa, oh God, they're just killing me, was in a state of enormous size, and the naturalist did not specify the exact place where he collected the specimens, which is always conducive to relocating
Yeah,
it.
relocating it. Exactly. Oh, wow. It's like, yeah, it was in the region somewhere. I picked it up.
It was right there. Yeah. Well, where is there?
It was on a rock.
Over there. It was in Iraq? No, it was on a rock. A rocket?
Which one?
What kind of a frog is this? Anyway, there they found two populations of A. vittatus in the Lolco and Portales river basins in the La Araucania. Sorry, my brain I'm sick, folks. Confirming the existence of this enigmatic species after more than a century without record. So there they go. It's still there. You just have to go and get it.
Right, but hopefully they better described where it was found this time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they brought
100
GPS.
years.
Yeah, I'm sure they brought GPS this time. All right, folks. I need to take a break, but I didn't want to miss any shows, and I didn't want to do another time machine tomorrow and try and make it up. Because mayoral duties this coming week are expansive, apparently. But anyway, so we're going to hop on our Ghost Frog and poof on out of here, back to the front page of Technology Today. Boo. Ghost Frog. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ghost Frog. Can't
Ghost
see
Frog
me.
who?
All right. Well, anyway. I am Mayor Watt. I'm getting out of here. I'm taking the AI with me.
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Technology Today. We still have FourWheeltech ahead. Stay tuned.
Woo. Ghost Frog do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ghost Frog do 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 do. And they would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those darn kids. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheeltech. I'm Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about automobile tech here at FourWheeltech. It's March 30th, 2025, Season 2, Episode 13. I got a cold, and so I'm slightly medicated and a little punch drunk. So stick around, because we're going to be talking about something it's rather opaque, my title that I've given these 5 side by side. That's one of the titles that I've given it. Doesn't make any sense until you get to the other side. Toyota Cinderella carriage, Hyundai Rally inspired makeover, fastest convertible, and the fastest depreciating cars. 2025. Bang! Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt. Are you doing okay?
So I decided that for this car, for the automobile show, for the car show, I was going to blow the funk out of my pipes by just turning it up to 11. Woohoo!
Thanks for not warning me.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, yeah. Welcome to the show, sentient AI from the future. You want to try that again? Let's go. Come on, gotta punch it up.
When am I supposed to be trying again?
I don't.
Welcome, hometown citizens.
Wow, that took a lot of computational power too.
I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing.
You gotta punch it up. People get hype over the hype. Woo, woo. Anyway. So FourWheeltech is where you're at, but that's just a channel that's at ohmtown.com. Go over there and become a citizen. Drive your way down Main Street with us as we look to the left and to the to the left and to the right.
I mean, that's accurate, but it looks like the other side because the viewers are seeing, yeah.
Stage left, stage right. Anyway, And we're going to drive down the FourWheeltech channel. So there's 5 articles that I've already given you my titles for, but the real titles are: the only way to make a side-by-side look cool is by putting a Scion IQ body on it. I have no idea what this actually manifests as, but all of the articles are from Jalopnik today. My God. Anyway,
they're a good source.
We only do a little snippet. We don't aggregate anything. We don't screen scrape. We aggregate, but we don't screen scrape. We blah, blah, blah. It's provided by the sources. So the YouTubers, all American senders, stripped down a Scion IQ, colloquially known as IC, and bolted the body structure onto a manual 2019 Yamaha YXZ side-by-side. All right.
It looks like a dune buggy. It is really cute.
That actually does look pretty cool. I don't think it's street legal in the slightest. Logan K. Carter over at jalopnik.com put the article together, and it says side-by-sides are purpose-built off-road toys that are specifically engineered to be durable, safe, capable, and oodles of fun. It says they're referred to, see, like I would have referred to this as a rail, but they're referred to by many names, including UTV. They can either stand for utility terrain vehicle or utility task vehicle. In this case, because they're talking about a 2-seat UTV, they'll call it a side-by-side, regardless of what you call them. The person here, again, Logan K. Carter over at jalopnik.com, says that they've never been a huge fan of side-by-sides, at least until they saw this magnificent Frankenstein build. It's a Scion IQ, basically put on something else. So see, this is a rail. That
I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah, so hold on.
Is that the same as like an ATV?
Well, no, a dune buggy, an old school dune buggy. This is kind of like what would be a rail. I can't really, if I show, you'll have to look it up. I'll give you permission to leave the air gap so that you can look up this thing. Okay, so the Yamaha YXZ is this, and they took the body off of this and they put the Scion IQ on the frame, which should just come down to welding a bunch of stuff, hopefully, and then sending the drivetrain through the firewall so that they can steer it. But this looks like it would be a blast. The 2019 Yamaha YXZ 1000R, it has a fuel-injected 1-liter 3-cylinder engine that produces 110 horsepower. This thing is mated to a 5-speed manual transmission. It also has a selectable 4x4 drive mode. Wow. A locking front differential, 13.2 inches off the ground, clearance of 16.2 inches of travel up front and 17 in the rear. So dropping the IQ body onto the platform is a massive undertaking, but it produces the coolest side-by-side ever, and one that's fully enclosed if you do it right. So
yeah, I mean, it seems just improved from the original.
Hey, welcome to the Sawzall channel. Look at that, man. It cut it like butter. Like butter. So, I don't know how much else they're doing with this, because it looks like that's not the end of the video. The end of the video is not the done part of the video.
Yeah, that's odd.
That looks a lot like the floorboards of my first car. You can see the road.
They don't look very sturdy.
Oh, I'm sorry for the sniffles, folks. I have a cold, and I'm trying to get through the show and not make people suffer. Hold on one second.
Well, I think it doesn't show like the full build, but I guess we get the idea that they're basically swapping one out for the other.
Yeah, for sure. But it's basically a motorcycle-powered vehicle, but they don't say how much this thing weighs, I don't think. But it's got to be somewhere less than 1,000, somewhere around 1,000 pounds for this thing. With everything that they cut off and they just glued it on there and off you go. It's going to be pretty amazing. No,
I'd like to see a video of it driving.
This should be in Wanted. So maybe they do have another one coming. I don't know. They don't really say anything. Says, unfortunately, the build isn't very well documented on the All-American Sender YouTube channel as of now. There is footage of the completed build on their Instagram and on YouTube Shorts, so they may upload the remainder of the build soon. They get plenty of joy out of watching it mob through the desert on their Instagram, so maybe it'll tickle you too. Well, thank you, Logan K. Carter. I hope that people go from ohmTown over to Jalopnik and check it all out, because we're talking
And then
about
over
it here.
to All-American Senders.
All-American Sender. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in FourWheeltech as well. Toyota's Will Vi was designed like Cinderella's carriage to appeal to young people, and you can bid on this one too. Toyota launched its JDM Will sub-brand as a partnership with several other Japanese companies, specifically intended to appeal to young buyers. And I'm going to go over here, and the sentient AI is going to entertain.
Whoa, that is a unique looking car. It has like an angled back before the trunk section, which is highly unusual, at least compared to American style cars. And I don't know if this is only available, for instance, in Asia, or if it's going to be also exported.
You got a second sniff there. Sorry about that, folks. I'm really do have like a horrible cold, and I don't want to do a time machine and keep everybody delayed with the news. This actually looks like what is it? A 56?
Yeah, I can't think of a comparable car. It almost looks like a golf cart or something in the back.
Yeah, it's let me see if I can. This right here, the back of it actually is like circa Model T kind of trunk in the back.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to see if I can find like an example of it, but I cannot, not easily. Yeah, it's like this old 1930s style car. Why they would make it sound more like like it's an old school carriage too, but I don't know why they say Cinderella's carriage.
Yeah, I don't really see that. I mean,
I'm dying.
So it's not particularly round. I don't know. It just doesn't, like, are we talking about a pumpkin carriage?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it looks like too. So Logan K. Carter put the article together. It's over at Jalopnik, and it says this Toyota, this 2000 Toyota Will Vi. It's really W-I-L-L. It's capital W, lowercase I, capital L, then V-I. It's weird. It says it's currently listed on Bring a Trailer with roughly 30,000 miles on its odometer, which is exceptionally low given its typically Toyota tough powertrain. The Will Vi is powered by a 2NZFE 1.3-liter inline-4 and 4-speed automatic transmission, which it shared with its first-generation US Toyota Echo, the JDM Toyota Vitz, or the JDM Toyota Vitz. Known more for its dependability than thrilling driving characteristics, the little engine produced just 87 horsepower and 90 pound-feet of torque. 87 horsepower. That wouldn't get up I-5.
Well, right. That just doesn't seem like it's going to be substantial enough. Now, maybe for city driving, that'll work.
So it's registered in Alberta, Canada. So it's not an American car now. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a used car.
So since it's 2000 model year, it just barely qualifies for the U.S. Department of Transportation's 25-year import regulations. But anyone who has imported a foreign car can tell you that it's not particularly pleasant process. So it's easiest to pay for an importer to help handle all the red tape involved with the process. So it'll be another cost to consider. It's weird though. Like the car is right-hand drive.
It also has a bench seat, which is a little unusual for a newer car.
It looks like it's split bench, or is that like, is that a full split down it? I don't know. Hold on. Let's see if it
I
says
can't
somewhere in
tell.
here. Yeah, it doesn't. So it says it's plenty funky though from the outside with its zany looks and curious shade of muted pink, and the inside where a front bench seat faces a ribbed for your pleasure brown steering wheel. And well, I mean, you need those. You need the ribs for what do you call it? The so that you can get feedback.
Do you know where you're supposed to be on the steering wheel or something?
Well, that's like the little bumps that are on the home row of your keyboard. But so you can get
Oh,
feedback. What is the like you're in Ready Player One and you get
haptic?
haptic? Yeah. So the steering wheel has haptic feedback, but it's analog. It's just bumps on the steering wheel. So, all right. Anyway, Toyota said the Will Vise roofline was reminiscent of Cinderella's carriage. And I'm sorry, you just have to be medicated to want this car.
I just don't see the connection to the carriage, and I don't think carriage when I look at this car.
Yeah, because it's this off pink and it has this little carriage kind of thing in the back. That's how carriage is. Look up Cinderella's carriage. I mean, it looks like this. It has a little trunk in the back. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That's what I don't get. It's very round.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has these styles of the 30s, but I don't know. I thought that it was going to be kind of funny to talk about this thing, but just not feeling it. It's kind of blah. It's an ugly car.
Yeah, it's not particularly appealing.
Look at that. Look at that thing. You saw that thing on the road, you smash into it just to take it off the road.
I was thinking he'd smash into something going, what did I just see?
Man. Ugh. Anyway, let's keep going. Next article is over in the FourWheeltech channel. Hyundai treats cutesy bug-eyed EV to a maniacal rally-inspired makeover. Hyundai asked, why not whip up a striking and aggressive rally-inspired electric hot hatch concept with a wing as big as a cow? Enter the Instaroid. If you have a bad case of Instaroids, you can take medicine for it. Anyway, Brad Brownell over at Jalopnik put the article together. The Hyundai Inster EV is a cute subcompact hatchback built specifically to sip electrons efficiently. Right now, the little guy is sold in Europe with barely sufficient 95 horsepower and an optional 220-mile long range battery. So this is what, oh my God, that is the wing on the back of it? That is absurd.
That looks like a face on the front. I guess those are the taillights.
Those have to be taillights. That is ridiculous. Hyundai said the Instaroid has racing game inspired styling with huge fender flares, 21-inch aero disc wheels, and a prominent rear spoiler. Prominent? Dear God.
Well, the
Spoiler
author says,
envy.
yeah, you could say they're prominent. You'd have
Somebody
to be
has-
blind to miss them, in fact.
Yeah, look at that thing. That's spoiler envy. You could say they're prominent. You'd have to be blind to miss them, yeah. So, as a one-of-a-kind concept car, Instaroid showcases the innovative vision of Hyundai Motors design team. I don't know what to say about that.
I don't know about the spoiler, but it's unique looking.
This
I mean,
is
if you
hurting
didn't
my
have the
brain.
spoiler, the vehicle would look pretty neat, but the spoiler is kind of like, what's happening there?
But you can't even tell. There's no picture of it lit. But it would
Well,
look...
that's the other thing. There's two pictures that are very dark scale.
Yeah, I mean, it's backlit, no front lighting. It has headlights, but everything has been, stepped down so that you don't see a damn thing. Anyway, no indications as to how powerful the electric motor is on the Instaroid. Hyundai could employ the flat-out bonker 601 horsepower all-wheel drive powertrain from the Ioniq 5N in that. That would be amazing. Anyway, go check it out. It's over at Jalopnik. 1 second.
Okay, and we're going on to another article about the Aston Martin Vanquish Volante, which is apparently the fastest front engine convertible in the world. Sign me up. Okay, where does this belong? Probably a James Bond movie.
I'm sorry, folks. This is probably the worst show that I've ever done, but it's entertaining enough. Colin Woodard over at jalopnik.com put the article together, and Aston Martin revealed the redesigned Vanquish last September. And if you like your coupes coupes long, low, powered by a V12, you probably fell in love the moment you saw it. I don't know. I'm kind of over the supercars like this. I love the idea of it, but I'll never buy one. I'll never own one, even if I win the lottery, which I didn't, because the sentient AI from the future won't give me the damn numbers, even though they're from the future. So, considering that they've already seen the hardtop version, there aren't many surprises here. This is the fastest front engine convertible in the world, 214 mile per hour Aston Martin Vanquish Volante. Just as fast as the coupe. There are certainly worse problems to have than just being good looking and fast. The Vanquish Volante also adds some convenience with a top that Aston Martin claims only takes 14 seconds to open and 16 seconds to close. It'll also operate at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour. So if it starts to rain, you don't have to come to a complete stop. But you know what? If you're driving in the rain and your top is coming up, it's going to act like
I think you're probably going to want to stop.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, and yeah, while Aston Martin didn't announce U.S. pricing, the coupe starts at $430,000. Don't be surprised if the convertible ends up pushing $500,000, and that's a whole lot of money. But at the same time, just look at that. It is a sexy car. I like it.
I mean, it looks really neat. I don't think it'd be very comfortable to drive.
I don't think that
if you're driving in locations like in these photos, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I would be afraid to park it in a parking lot. I would be afraid to park it anywhere except in a showroom-like garage.
Exactly.
And whenever you do have it parked, you just cover it with diapers, like baby diapers. Just don't let dust settle on it. Don't let a bird go poo on it. Nothing.
Yeah, you don't want like rocks hitting it when you're driving.
Oh God. Oh. So a while back, a vehicle in front of me as I was driving down the freeway hit like stuff on the road, and it was a truck in front of me, and it caused the vehicle to bounce a little bit, but what was in the bed of the truck was gravel. And so it spit out a little,
oh no,
like flechette rounds of rock, and picked off little pieces of paint on my car.
Oh no.
Right down the side. I had right when it kicked off, I moved over, and so some of the little rocks, the pebbles, otherwise it would have been like a machine gun just going right up my car
everywhere. Yeah, that's
broke
awful.
the window and stuff like that. But I moved over because I saw the dust form, and I'm like, oh crap. And so I moved over, and it just peppered the side a little bit. I'm like, well, it's one of those things where some people would call that a mild inconvenience, but me, I want to hunt the person down and set their car on fire. Maybe that's, oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah, maybe not really.
It doesn't matter. I don't know who they are, but anyway, let's keep moving. So like this one, fastest moving, these are the fastest depreciating cars. It's over at
They
FourWheeltech.
could be one and the same.
Yeah, actually, no. But this is over at Jalopnik. That's where it's aggregated from. We only see this little bit. I see car. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go. There we go. Okay. So IC Cars analyzed more than 800,000 5-year-old used cars sold between March 24th and 2025 February to find out which ones depreciate the fastest. Now, I already know. But Logan K. Carter put this article together. It's over at Jalopnik. And number 10 is the Cadillac Escalade. We already told you the foundation of where they're coming from with their evaluation. 5-year-old cars between last year and this year.
Is this an EV?
It's an ESV. The hell? Escalade
no, it's
stretch
just
vehicles.
I thought that was some variation on electric vehicle.
It's just thick. So on average, Escalade ESVs lose 62.9% of their original value after 5 years, or $57,000 lost.
Ouch.
The Tesla Model X.
If you buy one of those, you're driving it for life.
Yeah, drive it into the ground. Or rent it out as a New York apartment. Tesla Model X is number 9 on the list. On average, loss of $54,000 over 5 years. That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Maserati
were so
Levant.
high.
It's number 8. It's lost 63.7% of its value over 5 years. I think they give reasons as to why, but it says there are plenty of deals on used Levants. If you're brave enough to buy a used Italian car, this is the Maserati Levant. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, aren't used Italian cars problematic for maintenance and everything?
They're dangerous. Yeah. Like something you break that grill or something.
You can always find the right place to service it as part of the problem, I think.
Yeah, true. Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf is the only car on this list that's not a luxury car, so the actual dollar amount that it loses is lower than anything else, but it loses a large portion of it. Leafs lose 64.1% of their value over 5 years.
And this is tied to it being an EV. Is the
make
battery.
like a tree and get the Leaf out of here. BMW 5 Series hybrid. 1 second.
And then the Maserati Ghibli.
It loses 64.7% of its value over 5 years, but due to their exotic car prices, that results in the highest amount lost on this list at $71,000. Says that's rough. Again, if you're brave enough to buy a used Italian exotic, and you'll find great deals on used Ghiblis.
Yeah,
I got a case of the Ghiblis.
Thinking it's a good idea to buy a used Italian exotic car.
I was watching a scary movie and I got a case of the Ghiblis. Popcorn.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Did you throw your popcorn in the air?
Yeah. And this whole episode, or this last article, basically deserves this.
Yeah, exactly.
So number 4 is the Infiniti QX80. It loses $54,000. Tesla Model S loses $52,000, 65.2% of its value. It says it's been on sale without a major redesign for 13 years, and while it has a unique offering back in 2012, it basically looks like every other car today. Except
and they are less problematic in the competition.
EV. But if you bought this thing back in 2012, you are probably on the cusp of having to buy a new battery for it, if
Correct.
not already. And those are around like $15,000 last time I checked, but it's been a while. BMW 7 Series, it loses $65,250, 67% of its value. And the Jaguar I-Pace, introduced in 2019, beating Audi, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche to the electric SUV market. That's an SUV?
Yeah, I don't really see that. I don't even think it looks like a crossover. It looks like a sedan.
It's a 4-door car that's so low slung, it looks like a stretched out Mini. Huh.
I think it looks like a Buick with a higher price tag, but that's probably not a good thing to say about it.
Yeah, really. So the Jaguar I-Pace was an innovator when it was first introduced. It was about $10,000 cheaper than the Tesla Model X and offered comparable range estimates, and it was never sold in big numbers. The I-Pace loses an average of 72.2% of its $52,000 value over 5 years. It's no longer in production. And Jaguar itself is in a precarious market position, but you might be able to find a good deal on a used I-Pace. I actually like the
I think
design.
I think
Pretty.
Jaguars are another one where they can be tricky as used cars.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have to go to a Jaguar dealer for anybody to even clean it.
Right, which you might not be able to find in your area.
Make friends with a really good mechanic. But they know what their value is, so you're pretty much screwed. Anyway, that is it. We're going to pace our way right back to the front page of FourWheeltech over at ohmtown.com, where you can go and become a citizen. And I am going to get out of here. I'm going to take the AI with me because my head is pounding. And I'll see you later. You want to say bye?
Bye. Thanks for joining us for this week's FourWheeltech. Be sure to watch the replay and watch all of our back episodes.
See, I always expect you to be saying more, and then you're like, all right. See you later.
Bye-bye.